Today, I introduce you to the Divine Current Technique with a gentle, sacred awakening. My name is Shahin Jedian, and I'm here with Dr. Cynthia, a medical intuitive, together channeling a very powerful energy to create shift in spaces, hollow places, and dark spots of ancestral, intergenerational healing and growth. The recorded group session that you're about to witness is a encapsulation of lots of energy in this room that we've downloaded through ancestral healing and spirits. You may experience some of this through watching this video. Some sounds are lower, harder to hear, and what I recommend is to tune in to the actual process of what is occurring and allow that meditation to take place for you. There's lots of powerful movements and shifts and ebbs in energy flow that you can benefit from by simply watching this video.
For you guys to feel it and to just get connected with the energy of it, because there's a lot of unique vibrational energy of the patterns that are written in the book. So as Dr. Cynthia is doing some of the energy healing work, she's going to come around. I'm going to do a little exercise to help us get into the state more. Now, state mastery is the most important thing that we can do. Okay? For example, you want to be in a happy state, you want to be in an energetic state, you want to be in an excited state, enthusiastic state, love state, relationship state. These are all different states. We can actually create them through the shift in our physiology, the way we see, feel, and experience the world. So the first stage I want to create is for you to actually get in touch with your breath, which is the higher self state. Is that okay with you guys? Raise your hand if you would like to be able to, on a regular basis, access more of your higher self. You're gonna raise it really high. Okay, then bring your higher self down. Okay, put it right in your heart. Okay. Now, to do that, the most important thing we need to connect with is our breath. Okay, our breath is really powerful. Hey guys. So our breath is really powerful, right? And because it's so powerful, we need to learn to work with it. So we created a very powerful technique called the BBT. It stands for rapid breathing, rapid blinking, and rapid tapping. Okay. So to do the BBT technique, you simply take 3 of your fingers, hold it together. Okay. 3 fingers. Good. And you're gonna actually tap your forehead, or you could choose to tap your heart. Which one do you choose for now? So make that decision. Okay. You're gonna breathe in and out through your nose, so it's gonna be like this. You're gonna blink at the same time and tap at the same time. Now it doesn't have to be exactly the same time, but within the same realm as we're doing it together. Okay. So here's a little demo. I'll do it for you, and then you guys can do it. So I'll start with my heart. Now, as I'm doing this, I just did it for 5 seconds. You cannot actually think. This stops your thinking, okay? So now people come to me all the time and they're like, why do you do such a simple thing? Why don't you just teach people like really powerful meditations where they could fly into heaven and come back? And I tell people, you know what? Most people have a hard time just doing all these meditations that they're being taught, because now they have to think in order to learn it. And their whole problem is they're thinking too much, right? So raise your hand if you have a problem with thinking too much. Okay, so if you're thinking too much, then you can't get out of your own way of thinking through overthinking, right? So if I teach you like really deep philosophical things that doesn't shift the physiology of who you are, then what's going to happen is you're going to stay in the same place that you were before. So is it okay to shift your state? Say I. One more time. Is it okay to shift your state? Say I. Okay. So let's now begin this powerful rapid your forehead, it could be your heart, it could be your lower stomach, it could be your throat. You can choose one now. Pick something in your life that's really good that you have gratitude for, or something that you want to shift out of. It could be a forgiveness, something that you're going through. It could be a grieving issue. It could be a connection with someone that you want to resolve. It could be money, finances. It could be health. It could be beauty. It could be you just want to experience being more in the present moment right now, right here with us. Or it could be you want to win something powerful because we have an amazing raffle for you where you can win a 3-day retreat to have a total inner sanctuary meal. So any of those things could be it. By the way, before we complete, we're going to hand out a little sheet for you to put your information, and we've decided that we will give every single one of you a book as a gift. We're going to send to you the PDF and the 10 CDs, both my book, Divine Prescription for Life, and Dr. Cynthia's book as the medical intuitive. So make sure to put your info on this email list and stay here so that we do the raffle, and so that you can not only win the raffle but also get the book. So all you do is put your full name and your phone number, and we will text it to you. Okay, simple. If you do put your email next to it also, you will also get Dr. Cynthia's newsletter. But we need your phone number in order for you to get the gifts, because I send everything through text. So let's see. So let's begin. Did you all select one spot? Yeah, okay, good. So we're going to do this for 60 seconds. While you're doing this, Dr. Cynthia might be passing by doing some energy work as we're running the Divine Current technique at the same time. So this is happening. I'm helping you get into the stage. She's also doing a collective energy. It's really all happening at the same time. Okay, let's begin. 1, 2, and take this hand, and in and out through the nose. Blinking, yes. Keep blinking, keep tapping, rapid breathing, and feel your belly moving up and down. Good. One of your hands on your belly, that's okay too. Keep going, keep going. It's getting a little difficult. Keep going because you're expanding into the next level of your breath and your lungs. It's really powerful. Keep going with that. Powerful. We're syncing your right brain, left brain together, your breath, getting in touch with it. You'll be surprised how many years it could be that you didn't actually breathe, but you think you're breathing. So, a lot of people don't consciously breathe and blink, right? So part of what I'm teaching you is how to make the unconscious into conscious, okay? So many things, I see you going through something. So many things, you okay? Yeah, okay, good. So many things that we do are unconscious. Like at night, who breathes you when you sleep? Anyone know? God? Okay. Who created this system inside you? Obviously, the Creator made that, but there's something called your unconscious body that works systematically to breathe you. Does this unconsciously and involuntarily. So if that wasn't there, you'd fall asleep and then you wouldn't breathe anymore. But your unconscious does this for you. Who blinks for you? Right? Do you sit there and think about every blink? No, right? But your unconscious does all these things unconsciously because it's part of the natural flow of the way the divine ordinance has made it for us, okay? So the question is, what if you become so conscious of the unconscious? And that's where you gain true power. What we just did was really powerful because we actually took something that we normally take for granted, which is blinking and breathing, and we consciously started focusing on it. So enlightenment comes from becoming super conscious of all the elements that we take for granted, including breathing, which is the highest one, right? We take breathing the most for granted because it's happening all the time and we think it's always there until one day it's not there. We're like, oh my God, where is it? You know, anyone ever experience almost like choking or something? You know, like you appreciate everything through life, you know, like, and they say there are no atheists in the foxhole, you know. So essentially breathing. Now in the ancient languages like Hebrew, Aramaic, Babylonian languages, the word for breathing and soul and your name and your essence and your purpose is all the same. It's called neshama. Okay? Neshama comes from the word noshem, which means to breathe. The word shem means your essence or your name. The word Hashem means the essence, which is the creator. So it's all connected. So if you truly want to master who you are, you must master your breath. Yes. So to master your breath, you need to do some breathing exercises on a regular basis. So what I want to invite you to do is every day take a few minutes to consciously breathe. Who's going to commit with me from now on to every day take a few minutes to consciously breathe? Okay? Now I want to make sure that you guys actually do this. Okay? So I've created a little program. It's a little Facebook page. Okay? And this Facebook page is a paid membership, but today, because you're already a member of the Expo, I'm going to give it to you guys as a gift. In this Facebook page, I'm going to actually remind you every day to breathe. It's simple, right? You have to do all these things for you to breathe, right? I'm going to remind you how to be consciously aware of it. I'm going to teach you techniques, how to do this, and how to expand your consciousness, how to work through the chakras, like the last lady that was teaching, Laura. You know, I'm going to help you to access more of this energy that we have inside, including the ancestral shift that we're dealing with, which we're going to run more of the divine current energy. And more importantly, I'm going to teach you really powerful ancient texts that I have access to. I'll read it and translate for you and help you tap into something that's real grounded and has some real value that wasn't just invented, that's been here ancient all throughout creation with Adam and Eve. And many of you will be very surprised when you see that it's right in front of you and that we just didn't see how to look at it. Okay? It's like your breath, you know? There's a beautiful verse, a powerful verse. I'm not a religious person, but I do obviously practice deep spirituality. There's a powerful verse in the Bible that says, it's when the Creator is speaking to the people, says, how do you know your purpose and how do you know who you are? And the Creator says, Beficha, I'll say it in Hebrew because I think it's really beautiful. Beficha, it actually starts like this. Ki lo davar rek hu michem. Beficha uvilvavcha la'asoto. This is actually written in the biblical language in the Hebrew. Many people don't really read the Hebrew, they just read the translation, and you're missing a lot when you just read the translation. So the word says, Ki lo davar rek hu michem. That this thing that you're looking for, your purpose, it is not something that's vacant and empty and hollow from you. In other words, it's not something hollow out there that you're looking for, right? Beficha uvilvavcha la'asoto. The only way to access it is through your inner wisdom of your heart and through verbalizing it to make it manifested with your mouth. This is a very powerful verse. It's actually in the Bible. You can go read it. It's in the first 5 books. So there's another really powerful piece, which is a really amazing reframe, and I have a whole chapter on that in my book, Divine Prescription for Life. It's called Sin. How do we deal with it, right? And I don't know if you know this, but the word for sin does not exist in the entire Bible, and nowhere in the Hebrew Bible. So when there was a translation, they took the word which is called chet. Chet means missed target. It means try again. No perfectionism. The opposite of perfect is, what's the opposite of perfect?
Perfection.
Imperfect? What do you think?
Perfection.
What do you think? What's the opposite of perfect? Anybody? Human. Great. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
The opposite of perfect is human, right? So we are made up of error. Thank you. Thank you very much for running the Divine Current. So since the word doesn't exist, I'm going to say a few more sentences and then begin to run around. We're going to actually have you stand up and do the divine current energy technique. But the first human beings that were created according to the Bible, so even if the Bible is a metaphor, let's just look at it as a book of stories. For those of you who believe it's real, it's real. For those of you who believe it was just a metaphor, it's a metaphor. And for those of you who think it was just something someone wrote, that's all fine. I just want to look at it as a metaphor. So Adam and Eve were created, and they have these boys, Abel and Cain, right? And Abel and Cain, immediately somebody commits murder. It's like literally like, come on, give it a day, right? So, and then he doesn't even know what murder is, right? After he does it, he's like, oh, that takes away life. That was the first murder. Imagine if you didn't know what water is and you touch it or you drop into it and you kind of like drowning and you're like, oh, that's water, right? So he like commits murder, and then he starts to walk around, and now he feels like an outsider because there was no cause and effect then at that time. Cause and effect only came later into the universe. So it was like the instant reaction. He felt all these negative angels after him, right? So it was a blessing because he got to see the reaction to an action instantly. See, the problem we have is there's a space between time and our actions and our reaction that we get from the universe. So the karma takes so long, sometimes lifetimes, that you don't even know when you're doing something wrong. You don't even know if you're off track, if you're not aligned with the universe. You just keep going, right? And this is why we do the work we do, is to sink you out of time, space, and motion so you could feel things in a good way. When you're doing something positive, you could feel good. When you're doing something that's not good for you, you can actually let go of the numbness and feel that it's not good, and then get aligned, right? That puts you on purpose, on pleasure, everything, right? So here comes Abel and Cain. Cain murders Abel, and then he says, now I have to run away because all these negative angels are after me. Is there a city of refuge? That's what he asked for, right? Is there somewhere where I can go before the angelic courts can decide what needs to happen to me, right? And there isn't, right? So he speaks to God, and then God comes down and says, so to speak metaphorically, and says, what's wrong? God says, what's wrong with you? And then he says, well, I'm running away from these negative angels. I don't know what to do. So then the response God gives to Cain is incredible. He says, and this is so powerful when we've learned the law of attraction, which is one of the laws that I teach in my book called 42 C's to Bend Reality. He says, God says, Halo im tativ se'et. Isn't it true? This is like, God doesn't even address the murder. This is amazing. Isn't it true that if you begin to do good this moment, se'et, that your cosmic forces will lift? Ve'im lo tativ, but if you don't get super focused on doing goodness as of this moment, lapeta chatat rovetz. The guilt consciousness is waiting to bury you into an identity of a killer, and then you will continue to remain a murderer for the rest of your life. So the idea here is that when we get into a problem, like we eat food and then we're like, oh, I feel like a blob today, right? And then we just keep doing it, right? Because we're like, I'm a blah, blah, blah. You know, like, so I'm a blob, so what does a blob do? Oh, ignore it. There you go, right? Or you smoke a cigarette and you're like, oh, I'm a smoker now, right? You identify with things, right? So God's teaching is saying, don't identify. That was just an action. You see your kid, he does something wrong, you say, hey, what you just did, that action, please don't do that again. Let's do it this way, and then redirect them, right? But we say, hey, blah, 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 and we title the kid, and now they have their identity. They're like, I'm the lazy one. I'm this one. I'm that one. How many of you have gotten some kind of title when you were growing up? Right? So here we have Dr. Cynthia with us, who's helping us also from a medical intuitive level, being a medical doctor, to de-identify with disease. And that's a really powerful thing that I'm saying right now, right? To de-identify with diagnosis and disease. That's kind of crazy, but she took that journey, and I joined her because I believe in the same thing, and we decided to run this divine current technique to help you de-identify with self-labels, disease, and being unkind to yourself,
and
right?
It's also about empowering yourself, so you don't necessarily have to run to a doctor every time something's wrong. And I can guarantee you, no matter how elaborate your diagnosis is, no matter how convoluted, how many syllables are in that diagnosis, it's not as important as your life. and what's going on in your life and the emotions that you're going through and the traumas that you've been through. And when I look inside people's bodies, I see those things. And when we heal those things, people get well. It doesn't matter what your diagnosis is, right? We can also deprogram our minds. So all of that can be released, let go, cleansed, and you don't have to be sick. There's also a lot of herbs and things you can do too, which is what I did to cure myself. But the energy healing, the emotional healing is the most important healing. So your life, your happiness is the most important thing, not your diagnosis. There are plenty of cancer patients around that have survived cancer, and one of the hugest lessons that they tell us is, I lived my life. I went after my goals. I went after my dreams. That is more important than your diagnosis. And part of the opening that you received was opening up your body. So these areas, these traumas, they get stuck. And when we start opening them up, for example, last time, this lady, we did the healing, and she started healing her father's side of the family, and her father had just died, and she had a pain in her body. And so either one of us could have panicked and said, oh my God, she's having chest pain, we should call 911, but we didn't do that. I said, okay, so sat down next to her, and I'm like, let's release this, let's blow it out, let's, this is not yours, this is something that's coming from, here, here, and here. We did this for 10 minutes, and the whole thing left. We never needed to call any paramedics, we never needed to do any of that, we didn't need any doctors. If you understand what your body's trying to tell you, you can interpret those signals, and you can heal those. So we're going to do the...
So let's run the Divine Current technique. I would like to bring you up.
We're going to do the Ancestral healing.
Ancestral healing right now.
Too.
So, in fact, for this, we're going to ask, let's see.
By the way, that lady with the pain, the reason she had it is because our society does not allow people to grieve after they lose someone they love. So she held it inside. And when we did the current, it started to come up to be healed. And that was when she told me that she had not grieved in 1.5 years. So we just allow ourselves to have those feelings and then release them. And then she was pain-free. She took really well.
Okay, this is a great circle we have. Closer. Bring your hands. Is it okay if they touch you?
Sure.
Okay. Take your right hand and place it on any part of her body that you feel she needs some healing. Now you can place that on her heart, on her head, on her lower back. Go ahead and come a little closer. We need everybody's energy. And if you can't get close enough, put it on the person right in front of you, and that person will transfer the energy. Good. So I'm doing the collective energy, and Dr. Cynthia over there is working through the aura and bringing down the ancestral healing. Now this is a download that you're going to have to keep, and you're going to work with it in the next 90 days. We're going to send you follow-up material. We're going to send you more guided imagery to listen to work through this download. And you'll be able to connect with us further in the powerful members group that we're sending you. As she has gone through a powerful healing, as she revealed to me, she's healed through cancerous patterns. And earlier this morning she cried in a very powerful way that was really, really deep. And the cry was actually really for all of us, because every single one of us goes through these cries, but not all of us can cry. So sometimes others cry for us. So today she's the channel of receiving all this energy and healing through us and for us and with us.
Really heal through your heart. Feel that energy. I put energy in your heart. So feel that love in your heart. It's a great practice to cultivate that love a little bit every day. Go a little deeper in your heart. Love more deeply. Love yourself deeply. Love others deeply. A little bit more every day. And extend out your compassion. Whatever you give out comes back to you in some way or another. So the more goodness, we put
30 seconds as we complete this, I want you to know that we're warping hours of time into 30 seconds, and that's possible because there is no time, space, and motion. So take all the healing that you need in the next 30 seconds and let it download into you.
And then healing on the mother side. And communion healing on the father side. Working through the DNA, through all the generations. Going forward, going backwards.
And seeing all the generations turn into one encapsulated whole, as that is the voice of Jesus. So, as Dr. Cynthia completes this, I'm going to say a few things. We do have a couple of open sessions downstairs for those of you who would like to do further deeper healing. Please see me downstairs. We have a very unique special offer for you to make this happen. We have also unique. We have a couple of books in print that we may be able to offer you downstairs to see you also, and a unique blend of other types of formulas and gifts. At this point, I'm going to say a mantra, and this will complete the session together. And the mantra is actually a deep Hebrew mantra. It literally says, please heal me. It's very simple. And we're asking our higher self, the higher aspect. And we're going to say it together, and I'll say it first. It's El Na Refana La.
El Na Refana.
El Na together, Refana La.
El Na Refana.
La. And that's it.
We'd love to hear your experiences.
So you take a sample. Are they coming in?
Oh, we can stay for 20 more minutes? All right, let's stay around. We'll continue. Go ahead, next. All right. So why were we waiting to...
Well, you guys were just going to get extra healing.
20 more minutes? Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So this session has now just been expanded to questions and answers and more personalized energy work. Maybe by popular demand, as you guys send your energy to the upstairs, give us that gift.
Guided imagery where everybody gets
Okay, just talk to Hollister. All right. So back into this. This is cool. I don't know how it is, but you know, sometimes the energy moves around in different ways. And Hollister is a wonderful person that I was with a couple weeks ago at the expo, and she did some mediumship, and then we were actually after her. So in the next guided imagery that I'm going to do, and Dr. Cynthia will continue to work with the energy as we do this, I want you to imagine who you are for a moment. And now make that image of who you are, whatever you think you are, make it more powerful. Because whoever you think you are, you're more than that. So we're going to do, right? Yeah. Wait a minute. So whatever you think you are, whoever you think you are more than that. And if you are more than what you think you are, and who you think you are, then who are you? That's the question. Who are you? Have you ever asked yourself? You can't be your thoughts because those are frequencies passing through you. You can't be your mind. You can't be your body because that belongs to Earth. You cannot be your soul. It belongs to God. You can't be your heart. It probably belongs to your loved ones. You can't be mine. I can't be yours because we can't be God. You can't possess anyone. So if you ever felt like he was mine, she was mine, you never owned anyone, right? That was just a mere attachment. So then, who are you? And part of what we've been teaching is that you are the creation of the consciousness of this moment. Your only true choice is choosing the highest meaning and the highest thought for this moment alone. Does that make sense? In other words, you, and only you, each one of you personally, only you have the ability to give this moment the highest interpretation and meaning possible. Only you can do that. Now, I don't know what your meaning is, and you don't know what her meaning is, right? But the fact is, you know what your meaning is. And here is where your intuition comes in. The problem we get into sometimes is that we don't trust the meaning that we want to give to the events of our lives. We say, I think this means this. And I'm like, oh, maybe not, right? Guess what? Whatever you think it means, that's what it means. Because you're the only one that's being sent these thoughts for your reality. Because perception is projection. What you feel and believe has been gifted only to you. And that brings me to that beautiful story of where, in the Torah, Joseph, they come to him with these dreams to interpret, and then they ask him, like, what is the dream of the Pharaoh? And he does something really magnificent, powerful. He doesn't just tell the Pharaoh the dream that the Pharaoh had, but he also realizes that this dream has landed on his lap as a gift to influence the world from higher consciousness. So he interprets it by the power of certainty in a way that it should happen for the most part, right? So when you have dreams, it's not just you get to kind of feel like, okay, let's see if I can insert some dread into this dream and make it more exciting, right? You know how we do that to ourselves? We're looking for drama, so we're like, does it mean this? And we go to a psychic, and we go to this guy, and we go to that guy, and that one adds some flavor to it, and then we make it brighter and 3D, and then we're like, no, but it really means this, and then we add some like bad elements into it to excite our souls, right? The reason we do this is because we're not excited enough with our current purpose in our lives, so we look for all kinds of elements to excite this thing. But what if you can choose the highest, more meaningful thought and put it into your dream? Would that be okay? Say okay.
Okay.
Yes? Are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right. So for the next 30 seconds before I deliver the floor to Dr. Cynthia to continue with my kind of energy, I want you to think of a scenario in your life, an event that's coming up for you, or it's already here, or some challenging thing you have. And I want you to now give it the highest meaning possible. Think about the highest meaning possible. I don't care what you think. Think about the highest meaning possible. Get it to the highest vibration, the highest frequency, the best meaning that you can think of. Because whatever you can think of, that's what it is. Only you can think of it that way. I can't think of it for you. So that means it's yours, right? And whatever you can think of, that means there's reality to it. Because if you can imagine it, you can have it. As Einstein says, imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions. And the people in front of you, when you see someone in front of you more successful, more happy, more better in relationship, more this, more that, better car, the only reason you see them in billions of people that you could end up seeing today, there's only one reason you ended up seeing that person. It's because you're next. You're next to have that. But guess what? You can't have it. You know why? You don't know why? You don't know why you can't have it?
Because you don't believe you can have it.
Okay, what else? You don't know. Okay. What else do we do when someone is higher than ourselves?
You secretly want it but not want it at the same time.
Or we don't feel worthy.
You're not ready.
But what do we do to the person? Huh? Shoot
Just
them
like-
down sometimes, right? Because if someone feels higher, a lot of times unconsciously we're like, oh, how come he has it, she has it, I don't have it, right? So that unconscious thing that we do, what we don't realize is that we're actually shooting ourselves. Because you are next. The only reason God has put this person in front of you is because you are next to have that. But God can't give it to you because you have to feel deserving of it. So first he puts it outside of you in your projection. It's called perception as you project. Perception is projection. Puts puts it outside there. It looks like it's some other human being, right? And he's walking la 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 with his Porsche, and it looks like, something that you can have next, but you can't have it yet because you're like shooting him down. Don't shoot the messenger, right? So you are next. Whatever you're experiencing, you are next. Now, if you see someone in pain, guess what? Your empathy is needed because you could be next, right? So everything the universe is showing you, you are next. Okay? So it becomes very easy once you accept that. As soon as you see someone having something that you love and they have more than you, you just jump with joy. You just say, oh my God, I love you. You give the person hugs and you say, you're amazing, and you encourage them to have more. Why? Because who's next? You. Because the only way that energy can invite itself inside you is if you embrace it. If the Creator sees that you can't even embrace it outside of yourself, how are you going to have it inside yourself? Right? But no, you think you're separate. There's the illusion of separateness. There's him or her, and there's me. So now you have two elements going on.
The
We're
illusion
separate.
is we think their life is better than ours, and we don't see their silent suffering.
And we don't see their
Everybody
stuff
knows it.
either, right?
We-
So separateness takes over, and boom, we think like, okay, I can't wish him well, can't wish her well, because we're not the same, we're different, right? So that's the illusion, right? So if you're ready to let go of the illusion of separateness today, say I.
Aye. Me, both hands.
All right. Both hands, good.
Great.
And in your text that you've sent, I'm going to give you a massive gift. The gift is, it's $1,000 value. It's a paid membership program. People pay $1,000 to be in there. I'm going to send you a membership on Facebook in a unique private page that me and her teach some of the most deepest teachings in the world. We call it Secret Source movies. And you get to watch these movies. And over time, it begins to reframe who you are. This is just a little sample today of these teachings. It gets to reframe who you are and who you're meant to be, because whatever you think you are more.
More.
Back to you.
Ah, great. Okay, thank you so much. I feel all of you. Did anybody feel, by the way, a healing taking place before you got here?
I did.
Because I tuned in sometimes a week before, and I do downloads for whoever's going to show up. So we have this
Thank you.
energy. You have this energy that's allowing God to come in through your crown, and it's in your heart now. So we're gonna work with that heart energy, and we're gonna heal our ancestors with it. So let's take a moment and just close your eyes and tune into what your heart feels like. And now imagine someone that you deeply, deeply love. It could be a child, it could be God, it could be Jesus, it could be anyone that you deeply, deeply love. And really just take a moment and allow that love to just expand and enjoy that feeling of that love, that unconditional love. This love exists regardless of outer circumstances, so it's always there, and you are the source of it. It's always in your heart. Sometimes we block it off for various reasons, we make excuses, but it's always there. So we can make it stronger and stronger every day by feeling that love and going deeper and deeper. So as you're going deeper and deeper into that unconditional love, you're going to extend your right hand, and that right hand is going to send energy all along your father's lineage, through all of the ancestors on your father's side. You're going to send the love from your heart all the way up through your hand and all the way through your father's side. And Shahin and I are also doing this with you. And you're imagining that all of these ancestors are being filled with this unconditional love, which is basically the answer for everything. Love is the answer, the solution, the cure for everything. And so extending this love, it's going all through the DNA, it's coming back to you. And you're imagining that everything is being cleared and all of your ancestors are glowing with this light. I really feel down, we're going to do the same with your left hand. And come back a moment, come back to your heart, feel that unconditional love. Have this deep, deep longing, this deep compassion to help your ancestors. They had struggles they couldn't even tell you about. They had struggles that were silent, that were embarrassing, that were humiliating, that they never could say out loud. And so, as their progeny, it is our greatest privilege to be able to help people that suffer silently, as they're connected to us. So we're going to extend your left hand out and send that light, that healing, that love to your mother's side. The ancestors going at least 8 generations back. These are the generations that affect us the most. You can send it back as far as you like. Imagine all of those ancestors are dancing with joy. They're dancing in the light of your healing. They're acknowledging your healing. And imagine that healing is going all the way through the DNA. And don't tell it where to go in the DNA, just allow love to do it. Just surrender and allow the love to go through. Okay, and when you're ready, you can take your arm back down. Focus on your heart one more time. Because I want you to really feel that this love is there for you no matter what. No matter who comes into your life, no matter who leaves, it's always there. And you're the one that generates it. You're the source of all of the love. And you have the power to extend it to everyone, regardless of whether they're nice to you or not. And if they're not nice to you, it's an even greater opportunity to open your heart deeper, 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 and love. Love despite everything. Love despite all of it. Until you're completely encompassed by the unconditional love. And feel it throughout your whole body. Feel it in your hands, feel it in your feet, feel it all down your spine. And now we're just going to ground that out for anybody that went out into outer space. Come back down into your body. When you feel ready, open your eyes. Great. I've felt some amazing things happening. Does anybody want to share or have any questions? Yeah.
I had to open my eyes because I felt like with my father's side, I
Uh-huh.
felt like somebody was touching my hand. But then with my mother's side,
Uh-huh.
I thought, oh, this is somebody's touching me. I have to open my hands, and my hand was going like that, and like somebody was touching me.
Wow. So your ancestors are still here. They just don't have bodies. And sometimes they want to make contact.
They were like,
Did
because
it-
I had to literally open my eyes because I thought,
Yeah. Did it feel like a loving presence?
oh, so loving. And
Yeah.
and the person that came into my heart was, I always see God as Santa Claus.
I love
Because that's how he
he's always
comes to
giving
me.
gifts.
That's how he comes to me, and that's how I
Yeah.
visually see him when I do meditations.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, first it was the Blessed Mother, and then it was my mom, and then Jesus, and then God. Like it was like great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It sounds like they came in to acknowledge and maybe say thank you. Like thank you for the healing. Your practice, your love affects them even though they're gone. So depending on your belief system,
Oh, thank
they
you.
will
That was great.
they will heal from that. Anybody else want to share or ask a question or? Did anybody experience healing in their own body from sending it out to your ancestors?
Kind of release of energy.
Oh, Okay. Where did you feel it?
Over my whole body.
In your whole body?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes when I do it, I feel it in my whole body too. Like it's a like you don't think of your ancestors as being in your body, but it's their DNA. So whatever their traumas are, those are our traumas too. Anybody else? Any questions or comments or want to know what to do after this?
What do you do after this?
Oh, for one, keep working with your heart. Yeah, like every day. That's a good practice to have. And I feel like the more you do it, the more deeply you can love, the more people want to reciprocate that love too. You can also do that healing on your ancestors every day if you want. If you feel like there's a certain ancestor that needs help, you can say, oh, my grandfather, on my mother's side or my father's side. And you can also lay hands on yourself too. Did you get the attunement I did? Yeah. So wherever you feel pain, you can lay hands there.
Can you do it to people that are here?
Sure. Yeah. If you're worried about picking up somebody else's energy, usually it's something that's set off in us. So instead of necessarily like people want to push it away, look for it inside your own body. Like here's where I'm resisting and try to let go of the resistance. So I know a lot of energy healers have that problem. They're like, oh, I took on this energy. And there may be some subconscious programs that you're running, like maybe you think like, oh, maybe I deserve it or something. And those are very important. That's an important mind examination to do, is to ask yourself every day, do I love myself? Do I accept everything that I've done, all the decisions I've made, all the people that I've been around? We don't have to suffer to get God's gifts. We don't have to like prove it. It just comes. We just ask for it. That's all.
What you resist
Persists. Yeah, what you resist persists. Yeah. So if you lost a loved family member and you see somebody else grieving and you get set off by it, it's probably not theirs. It's probably yours. You know.
Thank you very much for that incredible, amazing shift that we're all experiencing together through Dr. Singha's speak and guided imagery, through all of us being together. Monique, thank you for shooting this video
Thank you,
because
Monique.
it's delivering it to so many people that could benefit from it. Some of you, I whispered different things in your ears. Please see to it that you follow through with that. If you are interested in a session, we do have a very unique special offer downstairs. You could see us, and we will do powerful stuff together to help you get unstuck and really master your path and head towards the direction of your life. We do need to complete this session now. It was a gift that we got to spend more time with you. We're very grateful. So I want to thank all of you.
Thank you.
And
Great.
Thank you.
Come down and ask us any questions.
All right, so we just completed our all-day seminars, and now we are at our next level of this beautiful retreat here in Huntington, and God bless.
Sit back, relax, and just close your eyes. In a very few moments, you're going to be more relaxed than you've ever known yourself to be. I'm going to mention certain parts of your body, and as I do, I want you to just feel that part begin to relax. Just feel that part just begin to relax now. In order to help you relax, I want you to imagine yourself in a wonderfully magical forest. It's almost nighttime, and the sky is a beautiful indigo blue. The stars are coming out, and the moon is lighting up the rich forest trees. You hear the hypnotic sounds of the bubbling of the rivers and the waters off in a distance, and nature seems to be lulling you to sleep. And as you remain motionless, you begin noticing a wonderfully white light just above your head. This white light is the most relaxing light you could imagine. And as you imagine this white light, as it begins to lower around the crown of your head, you seem to be touched with a desire and willingness to relax deeper and deeper. With every breath you take, relaxing deeper. This white light coming now lower, it begins to touch your forehead deeper and deeper, and smoothing out your forehead and relaxing that space right in between your eyebrows. That space that wants to be relaxed. That space that needs to be relaxed. Now you feel this relaxing light coming around your eyes. Your eyelids seem to become very, very heavy. Breathe like I do. So heavy, they don't even seem to want to open.